What's that? It's a Skream from Magnetic Man. You may be wondering why I'm wearing glasses. It's quite ironic. My MC, Sergeant Pokes, poked me in the eye while I was in Oz. Can you see that? So yeah, that's why I'm wearing glasses. Yeah, so me, Artwork and Benga met. I met Artwork probably circa 99, 2000 through my brother who worked in a record shop, Big Apple Records. And then met Benga probably a couple of years later through his elder brother who was a friend of mine. We started making music together. And then Magnetic Man came together around, I think the idea just popped up in 2006, where we thought we want to do something but without anyone actually knowing who it is, whereas so they'd actually just care about the music rather than the name behind the music. We did a show, I think at my 20th birthday at Forward in London, behind the white sheet, and everyone sussed out quite quickly who it was because of Benga's hair. So yeah, and we've just been literally, the idea came up and we started touring straight away. We'd done it all backwards. We did a tour before we'd done a record. Yeah, and then yeah, we've just been touring since then. Obviously released the album last year, which did pretty well. And yeah, we're going to start writing a new album together in early 2012. So yeah, it is unusual, as Magnetic Man is a free piece, which you don't normally get. Distinguishing the difference between obviously we're solo producers and then we do a group stuff. The idea is generally we write styles for Magnetic Man, which are generally a lot more anthemic. I know that was the name of one of our tracks, but more sort of big room based tracks. And obviously we work on them together, so the general idea is what happens while we're together. Like you can't sort of go, well, actually I quite like that and slip off of it. It's all, we're all, yeah, while we're together everything is for the project. Which yeah, it's pretty easy because there's never really one solo idea, it's generally bouncing off the back of each other and ideas we probably wouldn't have come up with unless we was together anyway. So when it comes to the live projects, our setup is three of us using Ableton Live 8. All with free Novation SL02 controllers, all running. My laptop runs out through a Pioneer 800 because I like playing around with it and I can do a lot more stuff than I can on that than I can in Ableton. Then we all have separate stems, so on one track I'll have the drums, Arthur might have the top line and Ben will have the bass, and it's just sort of just triggering sounds, and maybe on one track we'll replace the drums with drums off of something else. We try and keep the majority of the sounds from like Magnetic Man. There's the odd track, there's an odd Skream and Benga track thrown in there. Not sort of, but ones that we sort of made for the project as well. And then we've got all that running back out through compressors and stuff. And Benga's on a keyboard with a vocoder, which you'll see at some point, I hope. Yeah, it's kind of with certain tracks where we found like tracks like I Need Air, we generally try not to play around with too much because when we first started doing the Magnetic Man album tour, it was people were getting a bit annoyed that we was mucking about with the tracks that they know so well a little bit too much. So we kind of keep them sort of true to themselves, but then you'll see it. Well, hopefully some of you will see the show, and yeah, you'll see there's quite a lot of energy on stage, and which will have a lot of fun really. We obviously have P Money is our general feature at the moment, and Sergeant Pokes is our host. Unfortunately couldn't make it out to the Rhythm and Vine show due to a passport issue. And yeah, obviously we try and have as many guests as possible when they're around. Yeah, so as I said, we're going to start writing a new record, Magnetic Man record in 2012. I have no clue what it's going to sound like or be like, or who's going to be on it, or if there's going to be anyone on it, because obviously we're touring our back ends off. So regarding post-dubstep, which is a term people's using, like I sort of, it's weird because I've been involved in this music obviously since before it was called dubstep, so I suppose post-dubstep is anything from sort of 2004. It's very sub-heavy, a lot more less mid-range, quite monotonous to a degree. Like in comparison, so I guess you could sort of compare a post-dubstep artist with someone like Mella from Digital Mystics, extremely good friend of mine, with someone, say, Flux Pavilion, another friend. You can just sort of, yeah, you can see the comparisons like almost instantly, you know. So the new, the stuff before was a lot warmer, a lot more space, whereas now it's a lot louder. Like current sort of dubstep is a lot louder. Yeah, a lot less space and a lot more bros, I guess. Thank you everyone. I was Skream. Massive shouts out to my cheese on toast crew. Hopefully I'll see you again soon.